I'm Christy Figley, and I'm here with my mentor, Miss Parsley, and we are having our post-observation conference over the two lessons that I taught at the elementary grade level. The first lesson that I taught was over identifying place value, and John was to read numbers and identifying place value in two-digit numbers. And the second lesson that I taught was over two-digit subtraction, where John had to subtract a two-digit number from a larger two-digit number with regrouping. On the first lesson that I did, I felt that my strength in the lesson was the recalling of the prior knowledge and the use of manipulatives in order to illustrate the concept of numbers relating to groups of 10. It also gave that student a visual that they could work with. The weakness in this lesson was that I probably should have tied in a little more real world activities and possibly included some word problems or maybe even some type of writing prompt to tie all that together. My overall feeling was that the lesson went pretty well. I feel that the skills were learned as evidenced by the work on the assessments and through the use of the IXL to follow up on that. Any changes or improvements that I would make would be just more discussion or maybe possibly activities on how the skill would carry over into real world type applications. He did meet the objective with a mastery of 93%, and the next step would be to continue on with place value by introducing hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, and 100,000s up to the 1 million. On the second lesson, on the two-digit subtraction, again, I felt the strength was the use of the manipulatives. I think anytime you can get something in their hands where they can actually see it and feel it as well as hearing it, that it helps them relate to it more. We did make a few more real-world connections as far as where subtraction could be used and why it would be important outside of the classroom. I didn't really feel there were any weaknesses with this one. I did guided practice for one problem, and the student pretty much just kind of took over and taught me how to do it from that point. So I felt that the student did master that objective as well, 100% mastery on the particular assignment that we did. And next we would just move on to 3, 4, and 5-digit subtraction. And after that, we would just continue with the next goal listed in the IEP.
Okay.
All right, and now for your feedback.
Okay. My feedback is that overall for both lessons, I thought they went very, very well.
Okay.
Very well planned, thought out, very specifically met the needs of the student as far as what their IEP goals were and their deficits were. The use of manipulatives, multiple different assessments. You had the manipulatives, you had paper pencil, you had computer, all those things, and we have to, meet the needs in all those ways because it just helps them retain that information. Overall strengths were just really, as you listed as well, your tone, your demeanor, lots of eye contact, lots of verbal praise, saying their name, and just giving an ease of comfort. In no way did they ever appear to be anxious or uncomfortable. They seem to be truly engaged, and I think that is a very good strength to have when you're working with students with, that are the age that this student was, being a 6th grader, working on a much lower functioning level. They have anxiety and stress about that. So I thought you handled all that really well, and then just the planning I think it was great planning. The visual tools, all of that. I'm just kind of going back through my notes. I love that you made the real life connection on both of the lessons, and my suggestions would be to take that even a little farther. Maybe give them a transfer activity to where they have to go home and do something and bring that back. Even maybe just like yesterday's lesson or the first lesson of the place value, having them even just Google different price ranges of items. They could even decide what items would you find for $5? What items could you search for and find for $50, $500, $5,000, and have them kind of like a hypothesis actually, and then have them search that and come back and talk about the different values and how they increase and all of that.
Okay.
same thing with the second lesson. You talked about in the second lesson, going to Mazio's Pizza and paying for that and giving them a $20 bill and them having to give back change and making all those subtractions. Maybe they have a homework assignment where they go shopping with their parent at the grocery store and they have to bring the receipt back and they have to talk about the actual transactions and the difference in the money and just I think for special needs kids, anytime they can transfer their knowledge into their real world, in their environment, in their home, with their family and all of that, that's when you know it's truly learned. Because they're pretty good at getting into a habit of going through the routine of a lesson with us, you know? And so I think that when we can say, okay, you've got the skill, I know you know it, you've mastered it, you've shown me that, I want you to go out and do something with it and have some structure with that, and then come back and talk to me about it. When they can do that,
then they've got it.
then they've got it. And that's what we need to really see, because it's that transfer of knowledge that really is, I think, sometimes weaker for them. And so, but otherwise, I enjoyed both lessons. I think they did learn great things. I thought you did a great job. And those are just my suggestions on how to take it a little deeper, maybe to a higher level, like even a DOK level. For where they're even functioning, they can go to a DOK level of 3 or 4. And so I think that's a way to push our special needs kids, is by having them apply that in an outside of school setting.
Because I do struggle with that a little bit, because most of the time we're at that 1 and 2 on that DOK level, so that would be a good way to bump it.
Yeah, so. And I mean, because that happens even in gen ed. I mean, that's something that we have to intentionally focus on. But I try to have our teachers, you know, always pull it back to, how are they transferring this? How do I know they've learned it? And the best way that I can know that is by how they transfer it. They do something with it outside of our environment, come back and talk to me about it and explain it to me. Then I know, okay, they've got that for the long haul, not just for that moment when, you know, I'm teaching it. So really, other than that, just knocking things up to the next level of a DLK 3 or 4 where you can, is gonna be just a way to increase their knowledge base. So, other than that, I think that's it.
All right, sounds great.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.